Yeah. Hi everyone, welcome to the Carwas. As you know, our goal is to introduce you to the people who are contributing to the world and inspire people to work on their dreams and to get to the next level of success. So let me introduce our today's guest. He is an outstanding person and an expert transformational coach that has been featured in NBC, CBS, ABC, Yahoo Finance, the Wall Street Select and Focus, the Fox network affiliates, as well as the other major outlets, a dynamic powerhouse speaker with over 10 years of experience in the field of speaking, training, and breakthrough success. He's the author of super hit book titled GPS My Success, which is my favorite as well. He's an individual that takes a pride in developing both leaders and champions. His message and concepts help people to grow to the next level, and he inspires at atmosphere of greatness in the lives he connects with Delhi. He's also a member of the National Speaker Association, past president with the Toastmasters International, and he's the owner of two successful businesses for over 20 years. And he is a member of the John Maxwell team as a Les Brown Platinum speaker. He speaks, inspires, and teaches the leadership professional development principle to 60 to 70 organizations a year. Some of these companies include the Ford Motor Company, Honda, General Electric, Toyota, the United States military, and the United States Postal Services, and Urban League, and many more. All successful organizations understand that effective leadership is at the heart of every business. So, as a trainer coach, he has several engaging group programs. Is specifically designed to take leaders to the next level. So when he delivers a message, he absolutely makes sure that the room gets it. And if you are ready for a fun, engaging, entertaining, and inspiring motivational speaker, that will leave you amazed. So please help me in welcoming Mr. Kareem Alice. Welcome to the Calvas platform. It's pleasure to have you on the show.
It's my honor.
Yeah.
It is my honor. It's a privilege, and most importantly, it is a pleasure. And the reason why I say this is, things have changed throughout the world thanks to COVID-19. So many
Yes.
things have changed due to COVID-19. So every day above ground, everyone has to celebrate the fact that we're still here, right? We got to
Right.
celebrate the fact we're still here because we've lost so many people along this journey called life. So when I say it is a privilege, it's an honor, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. It's a privilege and an honor to be here.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Mhm.
And I'm very excited about today's conversation with you as your
Yes.
work is incredible. And today we have a topic that is most interesting topic, path to massive success. So
Yes.
before we start discussing the how to set the vision in 2020, which
Mhm.
you often recommend as a get your vision right. So
Yes.
first of all, congratulations for your book that GPS My Success,
Thank you.
which is a wonderful piece of work. I really admire your work, and the way you articulate it is so amazing. Your book name is GPS My Success. I
Yes.
love the title. I would like to ask that how did this name come to your mind? It's very unique and attractive.
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, right? Um,
Yeah,
so as a speaker, one of the things I've learned is when you deliver a message, it has to be highly relatable. It has to be highly
yes,
relatable. And so when the idea about GPS My Success came, number one, the messages I talk about and teach, they're all things I've lived through. I never want to be a speaker where I'm giving information, giving insight, giving wisdom, but I've never lived it. I've never experienced it, right? And so when I say GPS My Success, I look at a GPS as the world's greatest vision machine. When GPS technology first was unveiled, it wasn't for the common person. It was for the military originally, and then they gave the technology to the rest of the world. So when I talk about a GPS, when I say it's a vision machine, I mean exactly that. It is the world's greatest vision machine. Meaning, until I know where I want to go, a GPS can't do anything for me. So when I say GPS My Success, I want folks to understand my life works like a GPS machine. Until I get clear about knowing the address of where I want to go to, what I want to have, who I want to be, what I want to achieve while I'm here, the big problem I'm going to have is my GPS is useless until I decide to put an address in my life's GPS. So one of the things I had to do is I had to get really, really clear about what my life looked like and what direction I want to go in. So that's where we got GPS My Success at. My life's like a GPS. What address do I want to go to?
Yeah, very nice. Wonderful, wonderful. So let's start with the interesting question, which is linked with your amazing book as well.
Yes.
That how to set vision in 2020, as it's a challenging year for a globe. And to
Yes.
yeah, you often recommend as that get your vision right. What do you
Yes.
mean by that? So looking at things in a right way, and please relate it to your book, that is
Mm.
the core principles and the powerful content. So
Mm-hmm.
please guide our viewers how to set a vision and then achieve it.
Mm. Gotcha. So again, I'm going to use the GPS analogy because I believe everyone watching this broadcast is familiar with how a GPS works, right? So the
Yeah.
first thing is this: a GPS is useless till I know where I want to go. What I've learned in 2020, because so many things have changed throughout the course of the world, not just where I'm at, but where you are and where all your viewers are at. The rules of the game have changed. So it doesn't mean that I can't be what I want to be, that I can't have what I want to have, that I can't go where I want to go. But the route I take to get there may have changed. Right now, we're in a situation where we've relied more on technology than anything else because so many things have been shut down, right? Throughout the world, so many things have been shut down due to COVID-19. So when I say GPS My Success, I got to be clear about where I want to get to in this stage of the game, right? So as a speaker, the goal to speak has never changed. How I get there may have changed, right? One of the things we were talking about before the broadcast picked up was simply about how many organizations shut down their doors because they were afraid to put people together under one roof because of COVID-19. So that means a lot of us are doing the technology thing where we're using things like StreamYard, we're using things like Zoom, we're using things like Microsoft Teams in order to get technology, to get our messages out there, to congregate with folks, to help and incite folks to take them to the next level. So when it talks about vision, that means you got to be clear about who you are, what you want to have, where you want to go. The thing about vision that's so powerful is understand that until I get clear about where I want to go, I have no idea what resources I need for the journey. In other words, in order for me to be a successful entrepreneur, I was going to have the access of capital. I was going to have the access of money. Money's a resource. It
Yes.
took me 26 years of my life to understand about entrepreneurship. It took me 26 years to figure it out. Up until I was 26 years of age, whenever I would get money, I would blow that money because I didn't have a vision to attach it to. The same thing happens with education. It took me 26 years of my life to understand that my education was useless until I could pair it with a particular vision for my life, right? Let's talk about connections. Let's talk about relationships, because relationships work the same exact way. What I learned was this: when I got clear about where I was trying to get to, the type of relationships I would create would change. They wouldn't be relationships that were default relationships. They would be relationships designed by design. Okay. So in other words, I tell people success is 50% what you know, 50% who you know, and more importantly, what they know about you. But the problem being is if I want to be successful, that means that I should be working on strategic relationships and connections that get me closer to my finish line, not connections that are by default where I'm not going anywhere. So part of the problem with vision is this: until I get clear about what it is I want and where I want to go, a lot of the relationships or the resources I need for the journey, they won't be there until I know where I'm trying to get to. So hopefully that helps answer that question. When I know where I'm going, now I can be more strategic about what I need to do to get that type of result.
Yes, wonderful. Very nicely said. So, Mr. Karim, we would like to know about your book, which
Yes.
is GPS My Success. Please tell
Yes.
us, our viewers, the core principles of this and the powerful content. What is the philosophy of this book? What
Mm.
actually you are trying to say? What are these five core principles which are very popular and here and there? I used to listen about it that
Mhm.
set vision first and all these things. Please
Yes.
elaborate and tell us this philosophy.
Absolutely. So the book itself, it goes over five core principles, right? And we'll cover those principles today. So principle number one, I want you to understand that the address you chase in life will always determine the destination. The address you chase in your life will always determine the destination. If you're not successful right now, 9 times out of 10, it's because you haven't been clear about chasing the right address. So number one, we want to be clear about where we want to go to. And that's all about setting the address in the GPS. The GPS is only going to go after the address you decide to give to it. So the first thing is we got to know where we want to go. All right. Number two, we got to move with clarity. And what that simply means is this: when I put an address inside a GPS, it's going to give me crystal clear instructions on how to get from where I am to where I want to be. There has rarely been a chance in my life where I'm putting an address inside a GPS and it's giving me confusing instructions, right? So right now in the United States, I stay in a place called Cincinnati, Ohio. If I want to drive from my house to downtown Cincinnati, Ohio, that's roughly about a 22-minute drive from my house to downtown Cincinnati. Now, here's the thing. If I put an address in my GPS to go downtown, it's going to give me crystal clear instructions. It's not going to give me instructions like this. It's not going to say, pull out of my driveway, make a right turn. No, I'm sorry. Go left, go left, go left. No, go right, go right, go right. And then when you go right, I want you to make a right-hand turn on Galbraith Road. I want you to drive down Galbraith Road for roughly 30 seconds. No, 20 seconds. And then get on Ronald Reagan Highway and drive Ronald Reagan Highway for about another 20, 30 minutes. And then when you see I-75, Highway 75, get in the left-hand lane. No, get in the right-hand lane and drive I-75 for roughly another 25 minutes. And then when you get to the forking road, pull off to the side of the highway. I'll catch back up with you and tell you what to do next. If I'm trying to follow instructions that are as confusing as that, there's a strong chance I won't make it to my finish line, right? And the reason being is it's hard to follow instructions when you're confused. The way the subconscious mind works is confusion equals no. One of the things I've learned about folks I've been blessed to coach, teach, and train is when they're confused about where they're trying to get to, they routinely will never make it to the finish line because confusion equals no. In order for me to be successful in any arena, any industry, I have to operate in an arena of clarity. That means I have to see clearly what it is I want to achieve. What happens with a lot of people is they move outside the sphere of clarity. They're moving in confusion. So in other words, let's take something as simple as weight loss, right? Let's say that I want to lose some weight. I'm going to the gym every single day for the last 6 months. And the problem being is I've lost weight, but I've only lost 3 pounds. But I've been working out for 6 months, right? I've been in the gym every single day for 6 months, and I've only lost 3 pounds. Chances are I'm not going to be happy with the results. Why? Because I thought I was going to lose more than just 3 pounds, maybe 30 pounds, maybe 40 pounds, maybe even 100 pounds, right? So here's the problem. When I don't move with clarity, when I don't have a specific goal in mind, the problem is I'll never achieve the results I'm supposed to have. The same thing happens when it comes to our finances. If I say I want to make more money in 2021, but I'm not clear what more money looks like, I can give someone $5. You're $5 richer, right? But chances are you probably want to see a couple zeros in the bank account behind what it is you want. So number two, we got to move with clarity. We have to be crystal clear about what our finish line looks like. If I'm in business, I want to be crystal clear what that business looks like. If I'm a speaker, I want to be crystal clear what my speaking messages look like, what my presentations look like. If I'm going to get that college degree, I want to be crystal clear about what the results look like on the opposite end. Because if I'm not moving in clarity, chances are I'm moving in confusion. And the confused mind always says no. If you're not successful in life right now, I challenge you to say, how clear am I about what it is I want? That's one of the reasons why you want to hang around people that have the things that you want, because it's easier for you to create clarity when you can see the results on an everyday basis. So number two, we want to move in a spirit of clarity, not confusion. Okay. Number three, we got to be willing to make the right connections. And what that means is simply this. When I put an address inside a GPS, we know GPS technology works on a spirit of connectability, meaning I put the address in the GPS looks for a local cell phone tower, that tower connects to a satellite in outer space. And as long as I got that trifecta connection going on, I can pretty much find an address anywhere to where I want to get to, right? So as long as I got that strong connection, my GPS works. As long as I got that strong Wi-Fi signal, my GPS works. So one of the things I ask and one of the things I teach in this book is if I want to be successful, who do I need to connect with? Who do I need to connect with? Who are the coaches? Who are the mentors? What organizations do I need to belong to? And in the spirit of what I call online connectability, whose channels should I be following? Whose Facebook page should I be connected with? Whose YouTube channel should I be subscribed to? Right? You've got a lot of followers that are connected with you because you're the individual that helps light that pathway, right? So I have to understand if I want to be successful, it's not going to happen by accident. I have to be strategically connecting to certain peoples of excellence that's going to help me get to my finish line. But the opposite of connectability is what I call a dead zone. And what that simply means is this, that if I put an address inside my GPS, the danger to me driving to my destination is if I encounter a dead zone, right? Here in Cincinnati, Ohio, there are a couple of dead zones. That means I can have a signal, I can be driving to my destination, but if I hit a dead zone, I'll temporarily lose that signal. And if I'm not careful, that means I'm driving blind. That means I can lose my way. So the question being is, who, what, and where are the dead zones that I've been dealing with that's causing me to get off the beaten pathway and lose my way? For many people, what I've learned is the year 2020 has been a ginormous dead zone for people all across the globe, right? When COVID-19 struck and shut down governments, shut down industries, shut things down to the core, and folks were forced to quarantine, a lot of people lost their way when it came to chasing their goals and dreams. A lot of people had to take their goals and dreams and put them on the shelf because they couldn't see how to get to the finish line because so many things were shut down. What I tell people is COVID-19 didn't shut down my goals and dreams. It didn't shut me down. COVID-19 gave me an invitation to be more creative about what I needed to do to get to my finish line. COVID-19 gave me permission to reach out and connect with more people to get to my finish line. So I have to ask myself, who, what, and where are the dead zones in my life that were slowing me down and keeping me from getting to my finish line, right? So that's principle number 3, connectability versus dead zones. Who do I need to connect with? And am I aware of what are the dead zones that are slowing me down and keeping me from getting to my finish line? Principle number 4 is all about recalculation. And what that means is simply this. When I put an address inside a GPS, there's a chance that as I'm driving towards my destination, that I may make a wrong turn accidentally. I may not be paying attention. I may get distracted. I may turn the wrong way. Or there's a chance as I'm driving towards my destination, there may be an accident on the highway. And the GPS tells me that, I need you to get off at this exit because otherwise you're going to be stuck in traffic for 30, 40 minutes. Now, I got a choice. I can choose to sit there in traffic, or I can listen to the GPS and allow the GPS to recalculate and give me alternative routes to get to my finish line. What I've learned in the spirit of COVID-19 from many people, our GPS has told us to recalculate. The way we got here prior to 2020 is not how we're going to get there in 2021 and beyond. So am I willing to recalculate? Meaning, am I going to allow myself to understand there's more than one way to get to my finish line in this season, right? So we got to be willing to recalculate and find alternative routes to get to the finish line. And then last but not least, I tell people that the 5th principle is checking the history log. Dr. Hader, I got a friend of mine who got caught cheating on his wife a couple of years ago. And the question I'm going to ask you is this. Can you give me a wild guess on how this man got caught cheating?
Oh, wonderful.
Do you have a wild guess on how this man got caught?
Wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Can you hear me okay?
No, there was a bit disruption. What was the last thing?
Oh, okay. Gotcha. It's a bit disruption. Okay. So what I was saying was this, I got a friend of mine who got caught in a situation where he got caught cheating on his wife. Cheating on his wife. Okay. And the way she caught him was his GPS history log. Okay. The reason why this is so important is I want you to understand that if I take a look at a history log inside a GPS, it lets me know everywhere that you've been.
True. Very true.
Remember, anytime you use a GPS, you put an address inside the history log. So the history log tells me where you've been spending a majority of your time, right? So the idea being is this, is if I were to ask you for your life's GPS, because I want to check the history log, right? I want to get a good idea where you've been spending your time at. The question being is this, Are you guilty of cheating on your goals and dreams because you've been chasing everybody else's agenda? The real reason why most people don't achieve dynamic success is not because they don't know where they want to go. It's not because they don't spend time putting an address inside their GPS where they want to get to. It's not because they're not moving in the spirit of clarity. It's not because they're not making the right connections. It's not because they're hanging out inside dead zones where they lose their signal and lose their way. It's not because they're not willing to recalculate, because there's more than one way to get to the finish line. The number one reason why a lot of people don't achieve dynamic success is because they spend all their time cheating on their goals and dreams by chasing everybody else's agenda. So I ask people all the time to check their history log, because the history log tells me where you've been spending the majority of your time at.
Yes. Track your record, what you have been doing for the past 1 year, 2 years. It will tell you where you're heading.
Absolutely, yes. That's absolutely it. The history log tells me where I've been spending my time at, right? Whatever I water is what's going to grow. Let me give you an example. I'm sitting here holding an acorn seed, right? In order for this acorn seed to grow, two things have to happen. It's got to be planted and it's got to be watered. It's got to be planted and it's got to be watered, right? Your goals and dreams work the same exact way. When you decide to go after a goal and dream, you first have to plant the goal and dream, and you got to water it, right? That means the effort, the energy, my time. Wherever my focus goes, my energy flows. The problem I see with a lot of people, they're not watering their own goals and dreams. They spend a lot of time chasing everybody else's goal and dream, and then they're frustrated because they're not getting what they want. So I got to be clear where I'm spending my time at, because whatever I water is what's going to grow.
Yes, very fantastic, wonderful. You have articulated, and this is how they mostly say that the dream is a dream which don't let you to sleep. You have to work for your dream, and we have to work hard for that. And what you have recommended is wonderful. What are the five? These core principles are so clear and so wonderful. I love it. I'm in love with this book, because that book is really a game changing. It can change the life of the people, or whatever they are, professional, they are students, wherever they are working. So it's a lovely, because I can memorize it, that know your vision first, then get your connection, know the dead zones, then recalculate, and then see your history log, what you have been doing in all the activities for the past 1 year, 2 years, because these small activities will make you or break you. These little drops make an ocean. So this is how we do it. And the example which you have given of this seed is wonderful. And how many of us, particularly the students, we give water to the dreams which we want to fulfill in our lives? I would say that very few people work on their dreams. They give up on their dreams because they are not ready to pay the price for that. So we need to design ourselves. So this leads to the another question, which is very important question, that you mostly talk about the different design to work in different environment. What do you mean by that, please?
Okay, so I'm gonna use this seed again, right? Because I think this is a powerful principle. What I tell people is this: a seed is not designed to grow everywhere. I'm going to repeat that. A seed is not designed to grow everywhere. Let me give you an example. I'm holding 3 acorn seeds, right? I'm holding 3 of them. And let's say I'm going to take this first seed. I'm going to plant this acorn seed in the middle of the Mojave Desert, right? I'm going to take this second seed. I'm going to plant it in the middle of the North Pole. And I'm going to take this third seed. I'm going to plant it right here in my backyard in Cincinnati, Ohio. Now, out of these 3 seeds I have, only one of these seeds is going to grow into an oak tree. Only one of them, right? And here's the reason why. If I took the seed I planted in the Mojave Desert, this is not a cactus, right? A cactus can grow in the Mojave Desert. An oak tree cannot. It's not designed to withstand that climate, that temperature, or most importantly, that soil. Oak trees need a lot of water. Cactuses can go for months without water. Oak trees can't. So even though I planted the seed, it's never going to grow, right? Seed number 2 in the middle of the North Pole. Again, I've got it planted, but there's no way that oak tree is going to grow in that type of climate with that type of frigid temperature. It's just not going to grow, right? But right here in Cincinnati, Ohio, everything is perfect. The soil is perfect. There's enough nutrients. Our weather is perfect. We get around 70 to 80-degree days. We get enough rain. We get enough of the right temperature, enough sunshine. So the seed will grow in an environment that's conducive to the growth of the seed. For people to be successful, they got to understand this principle. There is an environment, there is a soil designed perfectly to grow the seed called you. But you have to be clear about what that environment looks like. The problem I had early on, right, is I'm gifted, I'm talented, I have so many things inside me of value because I'm a seed. But oftentimes I was taking my seed and planting it in someone else's soil, right? I was working for organizations while I take the gift of communication, and I was trading my gift of communication for less than what it was actually worth. I was taking my creativity and I was trading it for worth than what I was actually worth. So I got to be clear, if I'm considered this seed, if this seed is me, I got to know what type of soil I should be planted in so I can reproduce results, right? Until I figure that one thing out, then what happens is I can plant my seed, but I'll never see growth and results out of it. So we got to be clear about where we should be planted at if we want to manifest personal greatness.
Yes, very nicely said, Mr. Karim. It means that know your place as well, where you
Yes.
are fit. Yeah.
Yes.
Because most of the time we are at the wrong place, at the wrong people, so they do not, they can't appreciate our gifts. What you call in your book is the gift, the
Yes.
God-given gifts. So we need to identify these all gifts. So before going to the next question, I would just quote what the living legend Les Brown says about you. He
Yes.
said that Karim Ellis is an electrifying, talented, smart, and powerful speaker. He is able to empower and educate the people to create next greatest version of you. How wonderful he explained, and he told in a very wonderful way. So
Yes.
that leads to the another question, which you mostly refer to the purpose.
Mhm.
So you say the power of purpose. What do you
Yes.
mean by that?
So when I say the power of purpose, what I simply mean is this. You have to understand the reason why you're here. For everyone watching this powerful broadcast right now, I want you to understand you, my friend, are not an accident. You're not here by accident. You've been put here on purpose, by purpose, for purpose, with purpose. When a woman gets pregnant, that means she's going to give birth to something. I want you to understand that you are pregnant with purpose. You're not here by accident. The question being is, what are you supposed to give birth to while you're here on the planet? When I take a look at my gifts, when I take a look at my talent, when I take a look at my passions, all those things I'm pregnant with, right? And the goal is to give birth to those things while I'm here. So one of the things I challenge people with is I say, man, what are you gifted and talented with? I tell people my favorite animal is a cheetah. Cheetahs are known for running up to speeds of 70 miles per hour, right? A cheetah's gift and talent is given to that cheetah on purpose, not by accident. When I think about a cheetah's gift of speed, it allows it to catch its meal and allows it to avoid other predators that may mean it harm. When I think about an eagle can spot its prey up to 5 miles out in the air, right? When I think about a shark can smell blood in the ocean up to a mile out. When I think about a bat can use sonar to spot its prey in the middle of the darkest caves on this planet. So if I think about all these animals that have been given unique gifts and talents designed to make it successful, I got to think about this one thing. If all these creatures have gifts and talents, why do I think I'm sitting on this planet and I don't have the same thing, right? Every single person that hears my voice, there's something you're sitting on right now that's been given to you for a time in a season such as this to help you walk out your purpose, which is to make this world better because you existed. I got to discover my gift. I have to figure out what I'm sitting on because my gift is the thing that helps me give birth to my purpose. I said it earlier. I got in trouble for talking too much. I always had a mouth on me. In class, I got in trouble for talking too much. My senior year, my yearbook, I was voted most talkative, right? I didn't realize that my gift and talent was given to me to help me walk up my life's purpose of helping people walk into their destiny. That was the core thing. So when I talk about walking into your purpose, that means that while you're here, you got to figure out why you've been put on this planet. Your purpose is bigger than making money. Money is a byproduct of walking out your purpose, right? So we got to understand, especially in this day and age, why are we here? What's the gift? What's the talent? What's the education? And more importantly, who are we here to benefit for the time that we're on this planet? Because the world is supposed to be better because we existed.
Wonderful. Very nicely said. The last sentence, I love that you have to contribute in your own way because God has created you in a unique way. So if
Yes.
I'm not a contributing member to the community, to the world, and to this
Mhm.
planet, what I'm useful for. So we
Yes.
need to, yeah, we need to contribute in one way or the other to the world. So that leads to the another very important question, which you
Mhm.
have already put, that how to identify God-given gift, our talent, our expertise.
Mm.
So, what do you recommend for the business students or the researchers, that how can they identify their talent?
Okay, so that's a great question, right? So here's the thing. I want you to understand that your gift and talent has been with you since you came out the womb. I want you to understand the gift and talent you're sitting on is always been there. It doesn't just magically pop up. Put it this way. I said my favorite animal is a cheetah. Understand, a cheetah was born with the ability to run 70 miles per hour. It has to
Mm,
discover the fact that it can do it. It was
true.
born with the ability to run 70 miles per hour. It didn't have to go to school and get a college degree to run 70 miles per hour. It was born with the ability to do it. Now, until it discovers what it can do, it goes unused. So think about
Wonderful.
myself as a child. As a child growing up, I got in trouble for talking too much. That was my gift. When I was in second grade and third grade, I would get in trouble for always running my mouth and talking too much. That was my gift. I had to discover my gift and figure out how to use my gift. Until a cheetah understands that running 70 miles per hour is what I use to catch my meal, running
True.
70 miles per hour is what I do to avoid a pack of hyenas that may try to kill me or a group of lions that may try to take me out. That gift cannot serve me properly till I discover it and uncover it. So for everyone out there, I want you to understand you've been there's a gift locked inside of you that came with you when you came out of the womb. It's waiting on
True.
you to discover it, right? So here's the thing. The animals on this planet know how to use their gift on instinct.
Mm,
I've never seen a cheetah that's hungry have to look around at his buddies and make it. Can I run 70 miles per hour today? Do you think I can do it? They don't need a hype squad. They don't need a pep squad. They don't need a
true.
bunch of peers rooting them on.
Yes.
It's instinctively. They know on instinct, I'm hungry, I'm going after what I want. For
True.
most of us, you've been using your gift and talent on instinct. It's just you've not been trained to pay attention to it. When you were
Yeah.
a child, you've been using the gift and talent on instinct. So one of the quickest ways to know your gift and talent is you have to go back to childhood. You
Oh,
have to go back to childhood because when you were a child, you used your gift and talent on instinct and it was unfiltered. Some
oh,
some of us were super creative. Some of us had natural leadership skills. Some of us would think outside the box. The problem
yeah.
being is when we hit adulthood, a lot of times the jobs we find ourselves in don't require our gift and talent. And so what you
True.
don't use, you typically lose. I worked in a series of jobs that had nothing to do with my gift of communication. That
True.
wasn't what I was being paid to do. So I took that gift and talent and I put it on the shelf, not
Yeah.
knowing how valuable it was. So for
Yeah.
those out there that say, man, I don't know my gift and talent, I want you to go back to childhood. I want you
Yeah.
to find 7 to 10 people that knew you as a child and just ask them, as a child growing up, what were some of the things I did that would just blow your mind? What were some
True.
of the things I did that just stood out, that amazed you? And what you're going to find is this. You're going to find a bunch of people that are going to start saying the same thing. When you were a child, you had the ability to tell stories and hold everybody's attention. When you were a child, you were a natural born leader. The kids in the neighborhood would just gravitate towards you, right? You were
Yeah.
always that person where you were the center of attention. What I want you to understand is when you see the pattern lets you know what the gift is. Most people see the gift and talent inside of you before you do. Why? Because it's hard to see the picture when you're in the frame. I didn't
Yeah.
realize my gift of communication. Other
Yeah.
people around me started to point it out. You are very, very energetic. You're very, very talkative. You draw attention everywhere you go. And this is me being a child. But I
Yeah.
have to understand that gift and talent because what you don't use, you typically lose. If you don't
True.
use the gift and talent on a regular basis, then what happens is you typically lose the gift and talent. So understand the reason why cheetah runs 70 miles per hour because it uses the gift every single day to catch his meal. It never lets it lie dormant. For many people out there, you're gonna have to start using that gift and talent on a regular basis. Facts about it, some people are already using the gift and talent at their job. They just don't realize it because they haven't looked at it that way.
True.
When I climbed in corporate America, the way I climbed in the corporate world, I was using the gift and talent of my communication. I just didn't realize I was using it.
Yeah, very wonderful and fantastic answer. That how can you do it? You showed the new technique to us that go to your parents and ask them what you have been doing during your childhood. And most of the time, what we are doing at childhood, the dilemma of the education system is that they put us on a different way during
Yes.
the school time. So, and what I was listening to your one presentation, which was wonderful, and you were mentioning that till 12th grade we are
Yes.
being educated, which don't give us that much benefit in our practical life. So
Yes.
that's the dilemma as well, that we do not identify our strength and weaknesses in a right way, and
Mm.
then we are unable to explore it properly and to utilize it properly. So first
Yes.
we need to identify it in a very wonderful way. The way you have narrated and what you give the example of that your peers and rest of the world, they may not understand your strength. They may
Mm.
not motivate you in that way,
Yes.
but your inner intrinsic motivation is very much important. You need to look at yourself, that how can you grow yourself, what are your
Mm.
strengths. So that is very what I could see. And the way I love your personality is so energetic, and you are so wonderful speaker, narrator, that I love that thing. And that's why you have been hired by the different corporate sectors to come and train the leaders even how to do the different things. So we have another very interesting question related
Yes.
to this,
Okay.
that mostly refer to the 2.0 version. What is that?
Gotcha. So when I say 2.0 version, I want everyone to understand under the sound of my voice, there are two versions of you. There's the version of you who you currently are, and there's the version of you who you've been put here and designed to be, right? The question being is, are you comfortable with who you are right now, or are you willing to take yourself to the next level and show the world the 2.0 version of yourself? Right now, most of us are using cell phone technology, whether you're using an iPhone or whether you're using an Android, right? But we know every couple of years, Apple drops a new iPhone. They give you, right now, we're working on the iPhone 12. Previously, it was the iPhone 11 or iPhone 10. I don't know too many people right now that are happy to have an iPhone 4, which is where the journey first started, right? Because we know an iPhone 12 can do more things than an iPhone 4. Many people don't realize that they're operating out of the iPhone 4 version of themselves. When I say there's an iPhone 12 inside of you that can do so much more, but you got to be willing to trade yourself in and come out with the next best version of yourself, right? So the version of Kareem you're seeing right now, this isn't the version that started the journey many years ago. I wasn't so polished. I wasn't so articulate. I had to do the work on myself. I had to be willing to upgrade myself to give the world the results I know the world's supposed to have. So the question I always ask myself is, what version of you has shown up today? Is it the 2.0 version of yourself, or is the 1.0 version of yourself, when I know there's so much more inside that's waiting to be pulled out, so much more of you that's waiting to be shared with the world to help make the world a better place because you existed?
Yes, very nicely said. Very nicely said. Okay, Mr. Karim, we have another related question to it, because we have bombardment of questions for you.
Yes.
So the question is, how can we utilize our talents in proper way during this pandemic situation?
Okay. So here's the thing. One of the biggest questions I get relates off of that. A lot of people are trying to figure out, how do I solve problems, and more importantly, how do I create money in this environment? Because the rules have changed. One of the things that's helped me out is I learned this from a mentor a long time ago. This mentor taught me that money is the reward for solving a problem. I'm going to say that again.
Wonderful.
Money is the reward for solving a problem. So what problem should you be spending your time 24 hours a day, 40 hours a week trying to solve? If you'll spend your time solving the right problem, not just any problem, But the right problem, money will never be an issue, right? Because understand the problem you've been put here to solve, your gifts and talents have given you the advantage to do so. There was a stage of my life where I was spending my time 40 hours a week solving the wrong problem. And I would struggle to pay bills. I would struggle to create a lifestyle. I would struggle to have to create results because I didn't realize the gift and talent I was given was designed to solve the right problem, not just any problem, right? So if I can figure out what my gift is and what my talent is, and I can take a look and see what are the problems we're facing right now, and how can I use my gift and talent to help solve that problem? Money will never be an issue. The folks that are really making money, that are making coin in 2021, are the ones who looked at the problems created by COVID-19 and they're doing their best to solve those problems. If we look at what happened here across the world, there are many organizations, there are many businesses that shut their doors because of COVID-19.
Yes.
But there's also many businesses that are making a lot of money right now because they knew that our job is to solve the right problem in 2021. If we look at something like Amazon.com, Amazon.com is making more money than ever, right? In COVID-19, because they knew the problem they needed to solve. Folks can't leave their homes in this environment. Folks are being quarantined in this environment. So let's start doing home delivery, right? Let's ramp up the manufacturing of what people need in order to get results to them. Because we know people can't leave their households. So there's a bevy of folks that are making a lot of money in COVID-19 because they realize that money is the reward for solving a problem. So for someone right now that's kind of stuck in this season, what's your gift? What's your talent? What's your expertise? What's your gift? What am I gifted at? What am I talented at? And what is my expertise? What do I know more about than anyone else out there? That people are always asking me for advice. People are always asking for my help. I'm an expert at something. What are folks always asking me for? And then how do I take that gift, that talent, that expertise, and I use it to solve problems after COVID-19? Because if I can do this properly, money will never be an issue. Folks will always knock on my door trying to pay me because I'm known as the best there is at what I do.
Yeah. Very nicely said, Mr. Karim. You always put in such a way, in such a story that one always like to hear you, and you keep on saying, and I just want to listen to you for the last. So wonderful. Okay, there is another related question by a postgrad student that how to utilize the talent. There comes so many personality traits such as shyness and fear. So how to overcome that to practice and the skills that are hidden in us?
Okay. So when it comes to the concept of shyness and fear, I want to be clear about this because scientists have taught us there's only two fears that you're born with. There's only two. You're born with the fear of loud noises and the fear of falling. So if I hear a loud noise, it's going to startle me. If I'm a baby sleeping in the crib and I hear a loud noise, I wake up and I begin crying, right? Because the loud noise scares me. And if I'm a baby and someone drops me, the fear of falling, the sensation of falling, that's a fear as well. There are only two fears that you're born with. Every other fear is a learned fear. It's something you picked up on this journey called life. So that means if I learn the fear, I can also unlearn the fear or master the fear, right? So a lot of times when I deal with folks that are shy, when I deal with folks that have a lot of nervousness, a lot of times you're shy and nervous because you're not educated to the environment you're supposed to be in. A lot of folks don't realize this. I used to be a very nervous speaker. I was a very introverted person. You can't tell it, but I was an introvert. I was an introvert. The problem was this. When I would talk about topics that I knew, I could run my mouth. But when I got around total strangers, that introverted mindset was set in because I wasn't aware of the art of speaking. So if you want to conquer anything, the way you conquer anything, number one, is education. You have to educate yourself about the environment, right? I know a lot of people now that are making money in the Bitcoin industry, right? Cryptocurrency is really huge right now. But for the person who's jumping into cryptocurrency and has no knowledge of it, it can be a very, very scary place. So when you educate yourself about anything, that's the first goal, education. When I educate myself, I take a lot of fear out of it because a lot of times we're fearful because we don't know what to expect. When I can
Yes.
educate myself about the arena I want to infiltrate and walk into, that's going to remove a lot of the fear. It's not going to get rid of all of it, but it's going to alleviate a lot of the fear. So number one is education. Number two is to surround myself with like-minded people. When I
Very
surround myself with people that are doing the thing that I want to do, what happens is
true.
my mind believes that I can do it too, right? When I see
Yes.
somebody doing something that I want to do, it takes away the barrier of impossibility. In other words, let's take the fear of swimming. A lot of people are fearful of swimming, not because they don't know how to swim, they're afraid they're going to drown.
Yeah.
You know, so when I get in the
Very
pool
nice.
and someone is educating me in 2 feet of water or 3 feet of water of how to swim and how to hold my breath, it takes the fear out of it. When I see my friends swimming in 10 feet of water and I see that they're not drowning and dying, it gives me the belief that I can do it too. When I
Yeah.
talk about a cheetah running 70 miles per hour, understand the reason why the baby cheetah believes it can run 70 miles per hour because it's watching mom do it every single day. I'm
Yes.
watching mom in the distance run 70 miles per hour, 70 miles per hour, 70 miles per hour. Let's be clear.
True.
70 miles per hour is a wonderful feat. But when I drive a car at 70 miles per hour, my concern is if I lose control of the car, I might die. So picture
Yes.
running 70 miles per hour at ground level and think about all the things that can go wrong, right? So
Yeah.
the reason why a cheetah's not worried about breaking his ankle at 70 miles per hour by turning on, because it's watched mom do it so many times.
Very
If
nice.
I saw nothing bad happen to mom, mom didn't
Yes.
break her ankle out there, right? Chasing that gazelle. Mom was perfectly fine. The more I surround myself with someone who's doing the thing I want to do, my fear begins to alleviate because if they can do it, now the belief is I can do it as well. So number one is I got to educate myself about what it is I want to do. Number two,
Yes.
I need to surround myself with people that are actually doing it on a regular basis. When people say, why do you hang with someone as great as Mr. Les Brown? Because number one, if I could look at his journey of what he's done for the last 50 plus years, how he's spoken all over the world and created impact, then my belief is if he can do it, I can do the same exact thing. I don't have to have fear about it because I'm watching someone who's already done it. So number one is education. Number two is surrounding myself by like-minded people. Jim Rohn said it best. He said, your life will mirror that of the 5 people you hang with the most. 5.
Yes.
So if I want to be successful, I got to hang around the right 5 people. I want to hang around the 5 people that's making money, that's creating impact, that's using their gift and talent in the right way, that's super successful. And I don't want to hang around 5 people that are negative, that are fearful,
True.
that are scared to make great moves in a great season of what we call life. I want to make sure I'm super selective around hanging around people that's going to encourage me to be the 2.0 version of myself.
Yes, very nice, very nice. And I can hear, Mr. Kareem, that there is a bombardment of messages that the concept about fear is very powerful and can be
Yes.
a life changing. What a example you have given, and your answer is backed by the reference which you have given that by birth we have only two fears.
Yes.
All of the other fears are we have learned it, and we have learned it, so we can unlearn as well, and we
Yes.
can relearn as well. So
Yes.
very nicely said that you have to educate yourself. I love the concept. You have to educate yourself, surround by the good people. And they say that a man is known by the company he keeps. And we usually see you with the Les Brown, and
Mhm.
we feel proud of you as well because your company is so great that you will automatically be great by themselves.
Yes.
So again, very nice comment on that, and I really like your answer for that purpose. Okay, there is one another related question
Mhm.
that you give example of seed that it grows where it gets needed environment. We must
Yes.
know where our place is and where we belong. So the
Mhm.
question is, how can we find our place where we belong? That's a
Woo!
postgrad student
That's
question.
a great question. So, what I've learned is this is planting seed. The problem I've seen with a lot of people is a lot of people are not selective over where they're going to plant seed at, right? But
Yes.
understand that when I plant seeds, the way I know I'm properly planted is seed produces a harvest. There's supposed to be a harvest, right? When you
Yes.
look at any farmer, glad you said that. So I'm holding a packet of peas, right? If I'm a farmer, first of all, I got to know what type of seed I want to plant. I got to be clear about farmers don't accidentally just put seed in the ground. Farmers are clear about what the result is. So that goes back to number one, who am I hanging with? When I'm hanging around successful people, I'm going to look at them and say, okay, so I'm supposed to have that. When I look at successful people and I'm hanging around 5 successful people, what happens is I start to think, if they're successful and this is their lifestyle, this is their money, this is what they do with their life, I'm supposed to have that, right? So first of all, I want to be clear about what type of seed I want to plant.
True.
Number 2, if I'm watching other successful people and I see where they're planting their seed at, that's what's going to let me know where I should plant my seed at as well, right? That gives me a great idea. So number 2 is hanging around the right people, because it's going to show me where I should be planting my seed at. And I said it earlier, I can plant seed anywhere. It doesn't mean it's going to grow. I can plant seed anywhere. It doesn't mean it's going to grow. I was in corporate America for, I want to say, the first 26 years of my life, right? And here's the problem. I've always been a gifted communicator. This is the seed right here, right? I've always been a gifted communicator, but I was not seeing the payday I was supposed to have in corporate America, because that's not where my seed was supposed to be planted at, right? So the idea being was that I started hanging around other successful speakers, other folks who was using their gifted communication and getting a harvest. That let me know, if I could be in corporate America for the next 20 years, I'm never going to receive the payday. I'm never going to receive the accolades. I'm never going to create the impact, because my gift and talent was not designed to produce a harvest in that soil. I got to do what I see everybody else doing, right? If I look at someone like Les Brown has been planting his seed in the right environment for over 50 years. So success is not difficult. Find someone who's successful and duplicate the results, but give it your own twist. Find someone who's successful and duplicate the results, but give it your own twist. If I'm hanging around successful people, all I got to do is what they're doing to get the result, right? Let's go back to the analogy of that baby cheetah. That baby cheetah watches mom chase gazelles every morning, right? And so the cheetah understands, if I do what mom does, I get the same result mom gets. This is what I've never seen. I've never seen a cheetah chase down an elephant. Let's be real. A cheetah is the fastest thing in the wild. A cheetah can run 70 miles per hour. So a cheetah can catch an elephant. But what is it going to do with it? Right? An elephant will break a cheetah's back. So just because I can run 70 miles per hour doesn't mean I'm supposed to be going after everything. I still want to be super selective over how I use my gift and talent. One of the biggest problems I had to learn is I can be gifted with this right here, but I can't go after everything. So when I hang around the right people, the right 5 people, it lets me know, if this is what gets them results, I can do the same exact thing. But I shouldn't be going after every single thing. I got to be clear. I got to figure out who's the role models, who's the coach, who's the mentor that can help me aim that gift properly so I can get a great rate of return on it.
Yes. Yeah, perfectly said, Mr. Kareem. Very nicely articulated and elaborated this one. And it means that what I can conclude from this, that you need to identify who are the mentors, who are the teachers in the game, and you can align yourself and you can learn from them, and then you can walk your own journey. But I like your phrase that you must have your own twist. Put your own original contribution to it as well, because that would be your beauty of contribution. Very nicely said, very nicely said.
Let me add in here.
Yeah, please.
I'm holding my hand up, right?
Yes.
Every one of my fingers has a unique fingerprint. I know you can't see it, but they have a unique fingerprint that's only identifiable to me. No one has my fingerprint but me. When we walk this planet, we're a walking, talking fingerprint. No one has our level of uniqueness. There's no one like us. So my job is to follow the greats that have already done it, but leave my own fingerprint so people know that I existed. Leave my own fingerprint. The folks that changed this world for the better, they weren't a carbon copy of someone that's already here. They saw the pathway. They utilized folks as mentor and coaches, but at the end of the day, they used their own fingerprint to create their legacy so people knew who they are.
Yes, very nicely said. Very nicely said. And the way I love is the different terminologies you are
Mhm,
using. It's so
mhm,
powerful content, and the
mhm,
way you are just articulating is so wonderful because I could
mhm.
see the people, their response, the viewer response.
Mhm.
They love you, the way you are answering. They say it's a
Mhm.
wonderful session with you. Okay,
Yes.
let me just get you to the another question, which is very interesting.
Mhm.
A postgrad student that they are asking that
Mhm.
suppose a person try to achieve something but they fail many times while achieving it,
Mm.
so can you please explain how we can overcome and accept our failures?
Mm. Okay. So that's a very loaded question, and I'm glad you
Yeah.
said it, right?
Yeah.
Because here's the problem. We watch a lot of successful people, right? We see the folks of greatness that achieve dynamic things. We watch pro athletes. We watch the kings of industry, right? We watch all these successful people, and we relish in their success. But very few times we see their failures. Very few times we see how many times they failed trying to get the business off the ground. Everyone can see me as a polished gem on stage, but people don't know how many times I failed before I got on that stage. People don't
Very.
see how many times I got it wrong. So I want you to understand you will fail your way to success. Failure is a rite of passage. Until you're willing to fail, you're not worthy of success. I'm going to say that again. Until you are willing to fail, you are not worthy of success because failure is the key element to create a result. Failure is a
True.
key element, right? Everyone is aware of Thomas Edison and how he failed over 10,000 times trying to create the light bulb, right? Everyone's
Yes.
familiar with that. We
True.
celebrate the light. You know, I got light around me right now, but no one thinks about the fact that this man failed 10,000 times trying
Times.
to create the light bulb, right?
Yes.
So understand that you will fail your way to success. It is a part of life's natural process. It's a part of life's journey. And until you are comfortable with the fact that I'm going to fail, I'm not going to
Yeah.
get it right the first time out. I may not get it right the second time or the third time or the 10th time or the 100th time. But when I'm willing to be okay with the fact that I'm going to fail, that means that I've earned my way into the circle of success. Here's the
Yeah.
key element that has kept me grounded and kept me motivated and kept me inspired. When you get things
Yes.
handed to you and it doesn't cost you anything, when life comes and knocks on your door and tries to take it from you, it's
Yes.
too easy to walk away. Let me give
True.
it to you in a different example. I think this is going to really help folks out. Um, in addition to speaking, I invest in real estate. And as a real estate investor, if I go to purchase a piece of property, any bank that's going to finance it expects me to put 20% of the purchase price down. They're not going to let me buy it at 100% financing. I have to bring 20% of my own money to the table. And the reason why I got to bring 20% to the table, because the bank wants me to have vested interest in purchasing the property. If they were to give me $100,000 to buy a house and I don't have to put any of my money into it, if I wake up tomorrow and say, I don't want to deal with the property anymore. I don't want to be a landlord. I don't want to deal with real estate. It's too easy for me to walk away. I don't have anything wrapped up in it. I don't have any equity in the deal, right?
True.
So a bank will say, if we're gonna lend you money, we want you to bring $20,000 to the table. So that way you think twice about getting up and walking away tomorrow because you'll walk away from your money. When you want a
Yes.
goal and dream, understand part of life's requirement is that you provide the down payment, that you contribute equity in your own success. Why? Because when life knocks on your door and gives you turbulent times, when life knocks on your door and says that you can't be successful in a season, when life knocks on your door and decides to tell you that you can't make it, the way you're
Yes.
going to determine if you're going to hang in there and stick it out is based on how much equity you have in your own success. The folks I
True.
see that walk away have no equity in their success. I never wanted anyone to give me anything for free. Because if they gave
True.
it to me for free and it didn't cost me anything, it's too easy when things get tough to walk away. So for the
True.
person that's dealing with failure right now, with the person that's dealing with setback right now, for the person that's saying, COVID-19 changed the game and the money is not right or the opportunities aren't there, I'm encouraging you to stick with it because every failure is you creating equity in your goal and dream. So when it
Yeah.
comes time to you being successful, you'll know why you've worked so hard to hold on to it because you know what you had to overcome just to get into the arena of greatness.
Yes, perfectly said, Mr. Karim. Very nicely articulated again.
Mhm.
And I love the way you are answering the question. It's so amazing. Thank you very much for wonderful answer.
Mhm.
Okay, there is one another very interesting question for you. Most of
Okay.
the time, they ask about that. Mr. Karim, since you are a coach, corporate trainer, author,
Mhm.
entrepreneur, a good businessman, so
Mhm.
how do you manage all these activities? Please share your tips for time management.
Gotcha. So it would be easy. It would be so easy if I could clone myself. It'd be so easy if I could make a bunch of clones of me. But I want you to
Yes,
understand that the way you get super successful in business is you have to create systems. You have to
yeah,
create systems. When it comes to success, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to reinvent the
yes,
wheel. What you
true,
do is you find a good coach, you find a good mentor, but you
yeah,
also study successful businesses and organizations that are around you every single day. If you look at
true,
any business that's been around for more than 10 years, they haven't been around by accident. It's because they
true,
created systems. That's what
true,
allows them to be successful. So if you want to be super productive with that goal and dream, you have to figure out, how do I set up a system that's going to allow me to move throughout the course of the day, the week, the month, the year, and be able to manage my time and create results, and limit how much time I have to spend doing things that distract me. I tell people all the time, the most valuable resource you have is time. Once it's
yes,
gone, it's gone. So if I know that's my most valuable resource, number one, I have to be a master of time. I got to be able to control time. So I got to be
yes,
clear about what is utilizing most of my time. In order for me to be successful, one of the things I had to do is I had to leave the 9 to 5 job. In order
yes,
for me to do what I'm doing right now, I had to leave the 9 to 5 job. Why? Because I was spending 40 hours a week making someone else rich, and I wasn't able to water my own seed.
yes,
Whatever I water is what's going to grow. So since
true,
I knew my job was the barrier to growing Kareem Ray Ellis, I had to figure out what's the system I'm going to use that's going to get rid of the 9 to 5 job, going to create wealth and income. Because for me, the only reason I had the 9 to 5 job, it wasn't because it was my passion. It wasn't because it was my purpose or my calling. I only had the job because it paid the bills. That was it.
true,
A lot of people I
true,
encounter are working jobs that they're overqualified for. A lot of people I encounter are working jobs that's not their purpose, it's not their passion, it's not the thing God put them here to do, right? They're only there
true,
because it pays the bills. Life is so much more than that. The 2.0 version of yourself is calling out to you, telling you that this is not what you've been put here to do for 60, 70 years of your life. The 2.0 version wants you to be where you're supposed to be at, not where you feel you need to be at just because it maintains a certain lifestyle. I said earlier, money's the reward for solving a problem. So what
true,
problem am I supposed to solve 40 hours a week versus the problem I'm allowing myself to settle and solve 40 hours a week? So for me, I had to come up with a system that was going to get me out of the 9 to 5 and over into planting my dream seed where I could move at a faster tempo and pace, right? So when I
mm,
say systems, systems help you navigate your time, systems help you navigate your gift, systems help get you to the finish line of what your life is supposed to be, not what we settle for.
yeah. Very nicely said, Mr. Karim. Once again,
Mm-hmm.
thank you so much for such an elaborative answer.
Mm-hmm.
Another question we have
Mm-hmm.
is they are asking about that during this pandemic
Mm-hmm.
situation,
Yes.
Mr. Karim, what do you recommend to the people and particularly business students to work on? What
Mm.
kind of skills they should work on and to develop
Okay.
themselves?
Okay. So again, I'm going to relate back to what I said earlier. You got to
Yeah.
discover what's my gift and talent. What am I gifted at? What am I talented at? And number three, what's my expertise? What am I so
True.
good at that folks are always picking my brain or asking me questions about it? Because everyone watching this powerful broadcast, you're an expert at something. There's something that folks are always asking you questions about, right? And 9 times out of 10, if I don't see it as expertise, I'll give that expertise away for free. I didn't start
True.
out as a speaker. People were picking my brain all the time because I was seen as the expert, but I didn't see the value in it, right? I said earlier, money is the reward for solving a problem. What problems are you routinely solving for free because you don't see that as being an expert? Okay. And then most importantly, can I take my gift? Can I take my talent and can I take my expertise and use it to solve the problems that are plaguing us in COVID-19? Some of the folks watching this broadcast are the next millionaire, the next billionaire. But it's only going to happen when I figure out my gift, my talent, and my expertise, and I begin to use those things to solve the problems in COVID-19. What are the problems people are facing, and how can I use my gift, my talent, and my expertise to make a difference? When I can figure that out, money will never be a problem. Money will never be a problem. There's not a shortage of money on this planet right now. I don't care what the news is telling you. I don't care what you think you see. There's not a money shortage. There has never been a shortage of money. There's been a shortage of people that know how to get to the money. If I know my gift and I know my talent and I know my expertise, and expertise can also be my education, whatever I'm educated in, whatever my degree may be in. If I can take those items and look at the problems of the world and say, this is where I can plug myself in at, you'll have people knocking on your door, giving you money to help solve that problem.
Yes, very nice. Again, very nicely articulated. And this is what, in a nutshell, what I could conclude is that you need to identify your strength and weaknesses.
Yes.
So what you are good at.
Yes.
I could remind one of the Hollywood movie, The Dark Knight, in which the Joker said that if you are good at anything, never do it for free.
That is exactly it. That is it. If you are good at anything, stop doing it for free. There are folks out there that will pay you, but they're not going to pay you until you know the value of what it's worth. This is why you hang around other successful people, because other successful people don't do it for free.
True, very nice.
It goes back to the cheetah principle. The reason why a baby cheetah believes it can run 70 miles per hour, because it's watching mom get up and run 70 miles per hour to catch a meal every single day. When I started speaking, I was doing speaking for free. So I started hanging around other speakers that were getting paid to do it. When I saw other people getting paid to do it, I said, well, I can do that too, right? But until I was exposed to that, I didn't realize the value in communication.
Yes, very nicely. And the way you mentioned in other things that if you are not hanging around with the right people, you are not going to be successful.
Yes.
Because you need to identify your expertise and talent first, and then you can search for a mentor, teachers, and then hang around. What you earlier said is very wonderful, that you were not being paid for that, but still you were hanging around with them because you were learning. That was a journey as well, because you have to walk the journey properly. That's what we had been doing in the PhD. We were learning a lot of this new softwares. We were conducting the critical literature, everything. That was the training. And later on, we became an expert in that. So this is how one grows. And I believe that tough environment, what in the last question we said, that never give up. If you give up on your dream, it's very easy. What you said, it's very easy to walk away from it. But the difficult part is to walk that path. Prove it that you are talented enough for that purpose. Okay, very nice conversation with you, Mr. Karim, and I love the way you are answering the different questions. I'm getting a lot of questions and requests on one thing, that they are asking that how can they get the copy of your book?
Okay, so the easiest way they can get a copy of the book is if they go to Amazon.com and look for GPS My Success, or type in Kareem R. Ellis. That's the easiest way to get a copy of the book. They can get a hard copy for $20, or they can get an e-copy, I believe, for $7. There's an e-copy up right now for $7. So if they go to Amazon.com, they can get a copy of it. However, what I'm going to do is this, specifically for your following your tribe. I'm going to give them a free gift today, right?
Wonderful.
For the first 20 people, I'm going to cut it off at 20. The first 20 people that go over to my Instagram, okay? They go over to my Instagram, and my Instagram is at Kareem Ellis 1. Kareem Ellis 1. And they follow me on Instagram and send me a message saying, I heard you on the podcast today. They got to let me know they heard me. I'm going to give them a free e-copy. But it's only for 20 people. So if they go to Instagram, Okay, and they follow me
I
on
would be the
Instagram
first one
at
in
Kareem
that.
Ellis One.
Okay, I would be the first one to follow you in that.
Gotcha. But I'm only
Yeah,
doing it for the first 20 people. After 20 people, I got to
yeah,
cut it off. So if they connect with me
yes,
on Instagram and send me a
true.
message on the DM saying, I heard you today on Dr. Hader's show, what happened is
Yeah.
for the first 20 people, I'll tell my assistant to send them a free e-copy of the book. After 20, we're cutting it off.
Yeah, very nice. So generous of you, Mr. Kim.
Mhm.
We are very thankful to you for
Mhm.
that. And please let our viewers know how can they contact you and how can they reach you.
Absolutely. So there's a couple ways they can reach me. If they're on social media, I'm on every social media channel. So I'm on Facebook under Kareem R. Ellis. Obviously, I'll give you guys the Instagram, which is Kareem Ellis and the number one, Kareem Ellis one. I'm on LinkedIn.com. If you just do a Google search for Kareem R. Ellis, I'm there. You know, I'm on YouTube. I got clips and all that stuff out there. So I'm everywhere on social media. This is for anyone out there wanting to be successful. You got to make yourself Googleable. I don't even know if that's a word, right? You got to make yourself
Yes.
Googleable. You have to create such a presence that the world knows how to find you. That's one of the keys to
Wow.
success. You have to make
Very nice.
yourself Googleable. So whatever it is you're good at, whatever it is you do, make sure that's out there in the social media place and space so people can search and find you and know what it is you do, right? Success
Yes.
is 50% what you know, 50% who you know, and what they know about you, right?
Very nice.
I can be super successful and I can be connected with you. But if you don't know what I'm good at, there's no way I could benefit you, and there's no way you could benefit me, right? So we got to know what our gifts and talents are. We got to know we're successful at. So if you do a Google search, I'll pop up, or they can go to my website at www.kareemellis.com, kareemellis.com. And for individuals out there that are saying, hey, I'm looking for a mentor, I'm looking for a coach, they can send me an email at coachme@kareemellis.com, and I'll see if I'm a good fit for that as well. I got some folks that are saying I'm looking for a coach in entrepreneurship, or I'm looking for a coach as a speaker trainer. If they send an email to the word coachme@kareemellis.com, one of my assistants will filter that out and set up a one-on-one session with you so we can talk about if I'm a good fit for you.
Wonderful, wonderful. And let me add, you have the YouTube channel as well, which we
Yes.
are following as well, which is wonderful. And you have been uploading different videos that are very
Yes.
powerful. And I was looking and going through, it's a very wonderful content.
Thank
Thank
you.
you very much for that. Yeah. And the way you answered, the way you were articulating the things, the way you built the different stories, the examples which you have mentioned, I
Mhm.
can see a lot of comment, bombardment of comment. Even my cell phone is ringing again and again on messages I'm getting. That so awesome session, so wonderful session. The
Mhm.
great speaker, very informative and enjoyable session. Actually, the viewer, they are liking your energy and the way you are articulating things.
Mhm.
Even I'm a biggest fan of you in that
Thank you.
purpose. I learned a lot from you
Mhm.
even in this session, and I have been following you in social media, in YouTube. You are very good what you have been doing.
Mhm.
You are a real contributor to the world, and that's what I like about you, that wherever you go you create the impact. What
Yes.
you said about the Google, that this is what I used to say in my classes at
Mhm.
PhD level, at master's level, that
Yes.
if you don't exist in the Google, it means you are not existing in the current today's world.
That's
You
true.
have to be in the Google, and for
Yes.
that you must make sure that you are among the good people,
Mhm.
not among the bad people. So that's very much important. So
Mhm.
this is what, if somebody Google you and they find you with the right
Mhm.
people, with the good people, it means you are impacting. And the way you are creating impact in the people's life,
Mhm.
that's what I like. This is
Thank you.
what I'm getting the different comments that
Mhm.
in such a 1 hour session, Mr. Kareem has
Mhm.
impacted us a lot. And
Mhm.
what I see is a very wonderful and energetic, informative session. A lot of messages I can't read because it's so long statement. So in the last, since you are a wonderful speaker,
Mhm.
coach, corporate trainer, everything, you
Mhm.
have seen the world. You have your own businesses as well.
Yes.
So finally, I would just request you to give the message to the students, researcher, professional, or whoever is watching you through live our session, because we have international viewers on this.
Okay.
So just give your message to the whole world, what you want to say, and how you are going to conclude all this session.
Well, that's a great question, right? Because there's so much we've talked about in this 1
Yeah.
hour time frame. There's so much we can
Yes.
cover. So rather than give a GPS success analogy, I want to give something from a different presentation I give called the seed principle. We talked about the seed before. And I want you to understand that when I think about a seed is a thought. That's what a seed is. It's a thought, right? And in order for that thought to grow, it's got to be properly planted. What I want you to understand is this, is your mind represents the soil. Your mind represents the soil. And so what a farmer, before a farmer plants seed, the farmer has to first toil the soil, right? The farmer has to make sure the soil is proper for the planting of the seed. Your mind works the same exact way. I want you to understand that your mind does not discriminate against what gets planted there. I'm going to say it again. Your mind does not discriminate at what gets planted there, whether seed or whether weed. The subconscious mind's job is to make it grow. My encouragement for anyone on today's broadcast, for anyone that's watching this right now, that's going to watch this tomorrow, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, 5 years from now, I want you to understand that thoughts create results. So the seeds you plant is going to be up to you. Whatever you plant up here. You water it, you grow it through your actions, through your movement of faith. But you have to be clear that your mind's job is to make whatever lands there grow. Whether seed or weed, the mind doesn't discriminate. That means I have to be very, very clear about who I decide to hang with. I got to be clear about what ideas I take into my bosom. I got to be clear about the results I want. Because if I'm not careful, I'll grow the wrong thing and reap the wrong results. If you want to be super successful, you want to keep this clear at all times. I don't care what the world looks like. I don't care what the world is saying. I don't care what you see on a regular basis. Your job is to keep your mind clear so it will grow the results that you want, and you're not living a weed-inspired lifestyle. The most successful people in the world have to tend their mental garden on a daily basis and pluck the weeds out. Because like I said before, the mind doesn't discriminate. Whether you give it a seed or whether you give it a weed, the mind's job is to make it grow. My hope for you on today is that you keep this clear and you grow the results that I know you're designed to have in that 2.0 version of yourself, and that you're able to share your harvest with all of the world. That's what I'll leave folks with.
Yeah, very nicely said, very nicely said. And there is a one quotation related to that as well, that what you sow, so shall you reap.
Yes,
so this is what you have been referring as watering. Whatever you want to grow, it's your own ability. And you refer to the subconscious mind, which is very much important, that whatever message you send to subconscious mind, they will execute it. So why not to use it in the right way? So once again, thank you very much, Mr. Kareem, for your precious time, valuable suggestions, your knowledge, your expertise. Whatever you have explained is so wonderful, and the tips are so great for the upcoming people as well, because this session will be in the YouTube for our lifelong till YouTube exists. So your impact on world will be everlasting, and keep doing what you are doing, because we love what you are doing. And we pray for you for your success in the future as well. And keep in touch and keep educating us on different things, because people like you are very precious for the world, for the planet, because you people are doing what is contributing in a true manner, because you are making difference in people's life. And that's what we need. We need the planet to be better place to live. We need people like you to contribute in a good way. So we are looking forward to be having collaboration with you in future as well.
Absolutely.
We'll be having sessions with you, because in such 1 hour session, we learn a lot from you, including myself. I learned a lot from you. You are my mentor now as well. And I just said earlier that I have been following you through YouTube and other social media, because every now and then you post a very wonderful quotation that boost up one energy and make things clear to get the vision. So once again, thank you very much for your precious time for giving this opportunity so that we could listen to you, our viewers, our students, the different researchers all over the world. People they like your this session, and inshallah we will be bringing more session in future with you too. Thank you very much, and viewer. That comes to the end of this session. We will be having more session with Mr. Karim since he is very generous in giving the time and opportunity to us to talk to you again. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned, and we will be having more sessions in upcoming days. Thank you. Bye bye.